so that we can focus on my screen mainly. Okay, don't worry, you won't be having much slides. Let me go to Safari. So the first thing which I will do Google search is JMeter. So the moment I am doing JMeter, what you are seeing is my screen okay, or you want me to increase little? Whenever you are not able to see, I am going to zoom in. Let me know. So the first link, when I just Google, it is a Apache JMeter. I'm going to click on this link, and here also you can see what is JMeter, what is Apache JMeter is. It's open source, 100% pure Java application designed for load test functional behavior and measure performance. And it's originally earlier designed for web application. Now it has expanded many function, and now it is having ability to do all these things. Okay, where not only web testing, but you can do SOAP, REST, any web services, FTP, database, LDAP, TCP, Java objects, and there are many things which you can do. And then it is having its own CLI, and there are many things. So jmeter.apache.org is what all of you can open. Okay, this is a working and hands-on session. So whatever I am going to say, each one of you are going to do the same. And I am sharing my screen for just some time. Later from the audience, from the participant only, I am going to ask, hey, or on the voluntary basis, you are going to share your screen and going to do everything. So you can see here all these things are there. Go and read everything. How do I do it? Using JMeter components property. You can have all the wiki, Java, API documentation, and the main thing is JMeter is not a browser. So it's not web application where you are doing all these things, but it is a application which you need to install. Installation is not needed from the links which I already shared with you. You can go and download from there. So this section, if you see here, are you seeing this section, download releases? Click on download release and you can see the binaries. You're having a source. So source is not needed. In case you want to do some more thing on the JMeter, again it is fully made on the Java, so you can get the source, but for us source is not needed. And the main thing what you have to see is it requires Java 8. When it requires Java 8, what you can do, whether you are having Java 8 on your system or not. I am using Mac, so I will go to my terminal and we'll just say Java hyphen version, and I'm having Java 8. Can you see? I'm trying to zoom it. So I have already installed Java 8. Likewise, you can also check on the Windows whether you are having Java 8 or not. If not, go to the just Google it out, go to the Java, download, and ensure that you are having Java 8. So just hi-fi me. Hi-fi me means tap it over chat if you are already having Java 8 on your machine. So Java 8 is the minimum requirement which is needed. And then you can click on any binaries here, and it is going to ask you to download. You can click on download and it is going to download, and hey, thanks for hi-fi. Okay, so you can click on download. I have already downloaded it, so I'm not going to download again. And when you are going to download, it is going to open in some folder, something, the zip is going to be like this. Okay, and when you just double click on this zip, you can see Apache JMeter. So I downloaded 5.2 version, latest is 5.4.3. You can do it. So we had several versions from JMeter 1, 2, 3, and so on. JMeter 4 was very popular. Now the latest is JMeter 5. Just double click on here and then you can see we are having several folders inside that. Click on bin folders and then you can start. So if you are on MacBook, how you can start is you can see some file. Let me put it in the list view. So when I put it in the list view, you will see .sh file somewhere. So I can see this JMeter for Unix. Okay, this JMeter you can run on any system as Java is platform independent. So JMeter is also platform independent. You can run on Windows, you can run on Linux, Unix, or even on the MacBook. So here you can see one jmeter.bat file for Windows and you can see jmeter.sh file. If I have to start my JMeter on Mac, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open my terminal and I can simply do this and enter. It is going to start. It is opening into my another so I'm having dual monitor. So in this monitor it opened. I'm closing it. Another way for doing it is go to this bin folder. So I just say CD and you can either right click, get info and copy this particular path, put it there, or you just do CD, move it here and come to this bin folder and you can do sh jmeter.sh. So this is the way how you can start JMeter. Okay, so till this point, I want all of you to open JMeter and start on your system. Time being, I am going to unshare my screen. I need one volunteer among you who is going to share the screen. Let me pick someone, maybe Alfredo. You want to share your screen? Or sure. Anyone? So majority of you would be having, I think, Windows machine with you. So we'll see on Windows how we can open JMeter. Okay. No, close it. Don't open JMeter. First close it. We'll just see how we can open. Close it. Close the JMeter. Yeah, go to the folder which you just downloaded and extracted. Share your, yeah. Okay, so you can see this is the folder which got extracted, which means we are not doing any installation of JMeter. Fine, and then go to bin folder. When you go inside bin folder, you can see jmeter.bat. Either you can open it with the command line or you can just double click jmeter.bat. Double click on jmeter.bat. Okay, and this is how JMeter gets open. So till this point, I'm assuming all of us has opened JMeter and it's running on our machine. Is there anyone who is lagging and has not yet opened JMeter on the machine? On your laptop, desktop? Feel free to say no so that I can wait and then we can proceed further. So let me reshare my screen, Alfredo. Thanks for sharing. Okay. just two slider presentation, not more than that. And by that time, I am just sharing this slides to all of you. Those who has not installed Java 8 or higher version, or those who has not installed JMeter, this is the time. Just download it. There is no installation needed, and open JMeter on your local. And by that time, we will see. So what is this which you are seeing? Someone, by seeing the diagram, can someone say what is this picture Sagar has just added on the on his screen? So I need some active participation from all of you.
It's multiple requests for
multiple request. Okay, and what is this? Multiple requests you are getting. And what else? Oh, which screen I am sharing? Are you seeing the full PPT or yeah, the full window? I believe you are getting. I want other opinion. Can someone unmute and just try to explain what is this?
It's kind of multiple users trying to access an application by making a request.
Okay, good. So this is a typical client server architecture, basic client server architecture, which we are having. So you can see here there are multiple users, user 1, 2, 3, so on, mobile, laptop, tablet, everything. And then they are connecting via VPN to the firewall, to the organization intranet, and finally hitting a web server. Okay, in the good old days, when good old days means in the 1995s or 2000, for any web request, you used to have a CGI call. Okay, and each request, each CGI call was treated as one process. So we understand the difference between process and thread. Now, what used to happen, this particular server will be having some capacity. And what is server? What is web server? So you would have heard about Tomcat server or JBoss server, WebLogic server, and then the database server also. And when you are going to run the server, what it will do? It will run on your machine and it is going to consume CPU. You can go to the task manager or activity monitor on the Mac, and there you can see many processes are running, and all those processes consumes the RAM of the machine. Now, when this server is running and you are having many processes, so server is one process in a way, and all this request, when it is coming as a process, your server will be having very limited capacity to process all these processes. Though that was the drawback of CGI. Then other technologies comes like Java, .NET and PHP and so on, where for a multiple user, they are not considered when they are hitting a server, they are not considered as a different process, but will be having internal threads, or they will be in threads. So what I can say is user 1, when it sends one HTTP request, it is one thread. When user 2 send one HTTP request, for that server it is another thread. So you must be knowing the concept of multi-threading, our OS concept which we learned in college and all. So within a process you can have multiple threads. Now when we started getting multiple threads as a multiple request, then the efficiency of the servers increases. But like those who are from India, if you remember in the good old days when you used to do the IRCT reservation sometimes for booking our railway ticket. So if the 10 a.m. Yeah, I think 10 a.m. if the reservation starts, the site will be very slow. It won't perform. Why? Because multiple requests start hitting that server. Now here, if we see clearly, how many points of failure can be there from user to firewall, from user to web server, there is one connection. From web server to database, there is another connection. So if your request is crashing, it is crashing at what level you don't know. Whether the client itself is having network issue, whether the server is not sufficient enough, or whether there is some thing which is not proper in database. Database is also running on some server. Okay, why typically we used to have a database separately apart from the application or the web server? Because in the web server, whatever web app or enterprise application you are having, those will be running on some technology like Java, .NET and so on. And these languages are very good in the processing, writing a business logic. They are good in the UI representation, but they are very bad in terms of storing a data. So that's why we will be having a database, and these database are very bad into the processing logic and the UI, and they need a server. That's why we will be having some driver in between database and web server. So this is also an important link where the database can also crash. So we can have multiple point of failure when it comes to performance. And what is the meaning of performance? Here is how well your application or server or altogether everything is performing. How well is the user experience? When we say user experience, uh, how frequently, how easily, how responsive that application or app which you are using or web client you are using is performing. Now let me move to the next one. What is this? Again, very basic thing. Now entire industry moved to the microservice architecture where again you are having multiple clients, and then you are having API gateway, and via API gateway you are hitting to different microservices, and all those microservices are having their individual DB. If something is failing, where it is failing? Are you getting my point? So that is the reason the performance testing is very important to find the bottleneck issue. So now all of you have just up and on your system, JMeter is up and running. So today I will be focusing mainly on this, how all of us can create our first JMeter test. As in Java, we will write hello Java. Today I will go very slow. Tomorrow or in the next session it will be fast. So why I am slow today? Because no, I want to take everyone. We are having almost 15 participants here. So these are the steps which we are going to follow. We are going to start JMeter. All of you have started JMeter. Then we are going to create a test plan. What is test plan? We'll be seeing what is the thread group, how we are going to add sampler, listener, and how we are going to run the test. So this is the one thing which we are going to do. Let me reshare my screen once. Okay. So I am in this folder. I will open my terminal and I am opening JMeter. jmeter.sh I am doing, and it is going to okay. No such file directory because I open new terminal. So you are also going to face this issue. So what I missed here, cd and then do like this. So now I am in bin folder, and now I can do sh jmeter.sh. After running this command, I can open JMeter. Now I am going to give you overview of this. So all of you have just open on your system. In case you want to zoom in, we can see the several menu bars here, like on the top JMeter is there. Let me increase it. Decrease it. Yeah, now you can see JMeter file, edit, search, run, option, tools, helps, and all those options are you are getting. And if I mouse over also, you can see this options. Let me come to the original size. Now here, let me give quick intro of all the elements which we are having. Let me familiarize you, all of you, with the JMeter, and then the steps which we are seeing here that we are going to. So we already completed our first step, that was starting JMeter. Now the step number 2 is creating a test plan. Before jumping to creating a test plan, let's see what else is there into this JMeter. So you can see JMeter file is there. If I'm going to click file, you can see new, template, open, merge, all these things. So I'm hovering it with the larger text. So it's not how JMeter behaves. It's in my setting in the accessibility, I went and I did these changes so that you can see it clearly. Then you are having edit option. In the edit option, you are having add, paste, open, merge, and all this. Search, run, other options you are having, tools, helps, and everything. Now, in the help section, if you click on Apache JMeter, it is going to uh, open this, and if we will be on any specific element and we are going to use help, then it is going to open that also. So as your assignment, as your homework, what I want all of you to do is go to this useful link and click here and see what are things are possible in the JMeter. So go through the documentation by your own, because I am not going to uh, spend much time in the theoretical portion. We will be doing all the hands-on and the practical. So you can see here, this is one, sorry for the cough. Let me zoom in little. So you can see here it is new, and you can see here it has a template. Okay, it is opening in another window. So if I click here, you can see the template, and here JMeter is giving us few templates. Like if I go and select template, if I go and just select this template, building a web test plan, and I click on create. The moment I click on create, by default, it is going to, okay, there is one option here. If I go and click zoom in, it will increase it is going to zoom in. I can do it multiple times so that it is visible to all of you. Okay, so I have done many times zoom in, that's why you are seeing like this. So you can see here scenario is there, HTTP request, HTTP cookie manager, and all these things. So in our subsequent session, we'll be seeing all these things in detail. But what I wanted to mention here is, by default, you are having some template which you can use. And if I'm going to click it here, so this portion is your tree. Okay, like in the Eclipse, STS, or IntelliJ, how you used to have. And this is your kind of a body portion or a workspace kind of a thing where you will be working. If I want to change anything, I can come here and I can say, okay, my first test. If I do this, it is not changing. If I come outside and if I click here, so my first test, that's how it is looking. Now we don't want this. I just show you that this is the option. So what I can do is if I right click on the web test plan, we can see option as adding many elements in the JMeter, and then we'll be adding a thread group, setup, tear down, and all these things. I will be coming to this later point of time. Time being, I am just minimizing it, and you can see another option as edit. That is open. If I click on open, if you are having any JMX file or JMeter script already written or already been developed from other team members and you just want to import it, you can open it from this option. Likewise, you are having this option as if I just mouse over, you can see it as save, or when you do Control S also, it is going to save. This is for cut, copy, paste. This is going to expand everything, whatever you are going to be here. This is going to collapse, and you can see the start button. So when our test case is, when our test plan is ready, we can directly click this button and going to start it. And we can start with no pauses, and we can stop it or we can shut down all this. So when we are going to start it, this is going to be red and we can do it. We'll be seeing all this option. Then you can see this clear and clear all, because you will be seeing some logs here. If I come here, if I mouse over here, so are you seeing this? So this will, after clicking here, you can see the logs, and this portion is going to show you how many number of users are active, how many numbers of threads are running, and this is the timer which will run. So all these options are there. Now let me go through the new one. So what I'm doing is file new. The moment I am saying file new, so this is how all of you are going to do parallelly, in parallel with me. I'm doing file and new, and then it is asking the existing test. Do you want to save? At this moment, I don't want to save, so I will say no. If I say no, by default, it is creating one test plan. If I right click on the test plan, you can see here add. And what we can do, we can add many things. So you can add thread group. You can add config element here. You can add some listener. So don't worry about that. We'll be going one by one on everything. You can add timers. You can add pre-processor, post-processors, assertion. If you have written JUnit, then you would be knowing about the assertions, test fragment, and all those things. So what I am doing is I am going and adding a thread group. So all of you be on the same page with me. Let me repeat. Click on file, then new. You will get test plan, then right click on the test plan, then you will get this add. Come here and then mouse over to thread users. Threads are nothing but a users, as we have seen, and then click on thread group. The moment you click on thread group, this is something which you are going to get. What was the PPT? Okay, so create a test plan. That was the step number 2 we have done. The step number 3 was create a thread group. So we are up to step number 3. Now only 4, 5, and 6 steps are pending. Now before moving there, let's understand what this is. So you can see when you are going to run the thread group or number of threads, it will be seeing if any exceptions comes, whether you want to continue or you want to start the thread loop or you want to stop, what all options are there, and you want to run this particular test plan, this test group for how many users. So this user is nothing but thread in JMeter language, and actually also that is. So number of user, how many threads you want. Say suppose if I am giving here as 10, this option is ramp up period in seconds. So when I say ramp up period in seconds, if I say 1, whenever the test is going to run, now you can see here the green button, whenever the test is going to run, within 1 second, all this 10 users are going to hit your server. If I say ramp up as 2, that is, it is going to take 1 second for 5 user and 1 second for another 5 user roughly. Likewise, you can see the loop count, how many iterations or cycle you want to run for this, either 1, 2, or there is a infinite also which you can put. So unless and until you are going to stop it, it is not going to start. Another important thing which I wanted to mention here is, can you see here when we started JMeter, it is saying something. So what it is saying is, read this word, for load testing, use CLI mode, that is non-GUI mode. Only for test creation and test debugging, you use the GUI mode. Now what is the meaning of this is, when this UI is open, this is going to consume memory. This is going to consume memory in your CPU. This is heavy memory consuming application, the UI application. Now, when you are going to run the JMeter on your local machine, this is also going to affect your server performance. Now, we assume that, okay, it is a server and it is going to affect my server performance. That's why we will be using this GUI, the user interface, mainly for creation of the test cases, that's group. And once we create everything, we will get a JMX file. With the help of those JMX file, we are going to execute our test from the terminal only, from CLI. Well, that was the point which I missed. And then whether you want to use the same user for each iteration or you want to change it, so all those things will be there. Now, when I right click on thread group, you can see many things. You can see sampler. You will be having different samplers. Samplers are nothing but a kind of request which you want to do. The simplest one is the HTTP sampler. Then you are having FTP sampler. For database testing, you are having JDBC, JMS sampler. If you want to test your JUnit request, you are having JUnit sampler, LDAP, mail, and so on and so on. And likewise, you are having controllers, logic controllers, this and that. So in the upcoming sessions, we are going to deep dive into all these things. Now, suppose, but still you are having curiosity to know what is this HTTP URL rewriting. So I am clicking here, and if you go and click on help section, or you can see here this question mark, here also it is help. If I just click on question mark, from the entire documentation, it is pointing to the HTTP URL rewriting modifier. I can come and see here. So I will highly recommend all of you to read all the documentation from top to bottom. If not, and if you want to know any elements, so just right click, go to that specific element. Okay, some listener is there. What is assertion result? Click on the assertion result and come to this particular. You can see here, this is the help. You have to just click on this help. Since I was in the assertion result from the Apache JMeter documentation, I can see what this assertion result is. I can read it, how to configure, and if there is any responses, any references also I can see it here. Now going back to my JMeter, I don't wanted to add this too. I just added. So here also, if I right click, you can see here there are multiple options. clear cut, copy paste, duplicate, remove, merge and all. I'm going to remove. So I'm removing it. It is asking you want to remove the selected element. I said yes. This HTTP URL rewriting also I want to remove. So let's say remove. Yes, I removed. So the step number 1 was opening JMeter, second was test plan, third is the thread group. Now we'll come to our fourth step, that is adding a sampler. The simplest sampler which we are going to add. I hope all of you are following and doing on your machine. That's why I'm going very slow. The first hello world kind of thing should be slow, then we are going to be fast. And the same thing I want someone to do in the Windows also. But only difference in Windows, Linux and Mac is just how you are going to start JMeter. For Mac and Linux, Unix, it's same with the SH. For Windows, it's BAT. When it opens JMeter, everything will be same. It will be similar. So go to sampler and click on HTTP request. Now in the HTTP request, you can see many things. I'm just zooming in for you. Basic is there, advanced is there, name is there, and and then you can see the get method path and request body and all these things. So what I want to do is I want to give one request here. That's server name or IP. What should I do? I will go here and any website which you want to test, say suppose if it is the Apache JMeter only, and it was in the download section. I will go back. I will just copy this. You can copy any web URL of your choice. You can copy google.com, Wikipedia, msn.com, anything, and just paste it here. Now when we are pasting it here, you can see this HTTPS and this colon is there, but the protocol which we specified here is HTTPS. So what we are going to do is I am going to cut and paste it here. If the SSL certificate is not enabled for any site and it's just HTTP, you need not to give this. And then you can remove these things also. jmeter.apache.or is what you can write. And then you can see here you are having different method. Now it is a simple get call. I will do get, but when you are doing API testing, you can have a post, head, put, option, trace, deletes and everything. And this path is there. Now, if you want to go into some child page or any element, and if you want to test that specific thing, you can go and put the child path. Now, say suppose if I go in the component reference and if I want to give this path, I can give it. Or if there is some element which I just wanted to test how it is going to load and all, I can give that path. Timing, it's not needed. I am not giving. Apart from that, you can see in the bottom you are having delete, add from click, and all these options are there. So there are many options. This body data will be used when you will do any API call and all. You can upload files from here for the FTP testing and other things. So we'll be seeing those in details. But this is my simple HTTP request. Now, what I am doing is I will come here, and if we see our step, we have added a sampler, that is HTTP request. Now somewhere we have to see the result. Somewhere we have to see the report when this JMeter is going to run, when we are going to run the test. So we'll add one listener. For adding that listener at thread group, you can add listener at any level. So I am going to go to thread group and coming to listener and see view result tree. I am clicking on the view result tree and just adding this listener, nothing else. You want, you can rename it, or if you don't want, you need not to rename. Here, if you want to give the name, I can say, okay, JMeter site, something like that. When you do this and come here, this is going to modify, because sometimes when you will be testing, and it is our first application, I am just doing it with one, but we can have a multiple. I will add one more listener, add, come to listener as a view result in table. Fine, 2 listeners got added. Now JMeter site is there, thread group is 10. If you want to rename the thread group also, I can do my first test, something like that. I can come here and it is doing. Now what I should do is, my 5 steps are completed. Now you can see here the run button. I'm clicking on this run button. Now it is asking, before running, whatever changes you have done, do you want to save it or not? And sometimes you don't want to save and run, so you can click on no and it will run. And if you want to save, just click on yes. Save it in any folder, like you had many templates. So this is one template, my first test.java, or if you click on this option. So if you click here, it is going to create new folder. It will take you one folder up. This will take you one folder down and all. And any file name which you want to give, you can give from your choice and you can save it. So the moment I save, it automatically started running. You can see here the time. You can see here the threads. You can see this is as green. And if you get any error, then you will see some error there. And you can see this is still going. If I go on the result, oh my God, this keeps on going. This keeps on going. Oh, I clicked on infinite, my bad. I don't want to do infinite with the first test, but yeah, if I do on infinite, it will keep on going till the time I'm going to stop. So I'm stopping here. And when I stop here, so it starts failing. Let me rechange it and I will remove the infinite and let's say here just as 2. Since it went for infinite, so it is sometimes it will take time to respond, and since it's GUI, and now this result is there from the previous iteration. If I want to clear, what should I do? I can click on this. Here I can click on this clear, it will clear. But if there are multiple listeners and I want to clear all, I can just put this clear all. Now you can see from the tree listener also it will go away. Now we'll be seeing further. At this moment, I want to stop sharing my screen. I need one volunteer. Who can be that lucky person? Who wants to share his or her screen?
I can share.
Okay, go ahead. So quickly we'll do. I took much time just for explaining. Delete everything. Delete everything. Just click on the. Okay, you go on file. Go on file on the top left. Yeah, click on new. Okay, now the test plan is created. Now right click on test plan, add thread group. Okay, now give thread as 15. Let's change this 15. The loop count as 2. Okay, and all of you do in parallel with him. And now right click on the thread group, add one sampler, that is HTTP sampler. Yep, add it. And copy paste any URL. Yes. Okay, if it needs login, I'm not sure whether it is going to pass or fail. Let's see. Interesting case. You want to go for Confluence.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, let's add one listener. Come to listener, new tree, yeah. Fine. Right click, add another listener as view result in table. Okay. Now let's click on run. Yep. We don't want to save this time. You would have saved earlier. Okay, no. So when I'm saying no, still it is running. And come to result tree, open result tree. Scroll down and you can see it got executed. 15 threads were there and we ran it 2 times into iteration. Go to view result in table. So you are seeing result in table. All the status green means all the test cases are passed. No request failed. Now let's go to view result tree. Click on any request in the left side. Yes. Now you can see here sample result. Okay. In the sampler result, you are seeing the no, response code as 200, which is a response message as OK. Click on the request, another tab there. Yeah, so you can see which specific request you have given. OK, it was get request. Click on response data. So in the response, this page got open. We can save this response in any file also if we want, and there are many things which we can do. Try to expand this. Go to left my first test only. No, here only in the test. Yeah, see if you can expand. Yeah. Now you can see my first test 0, 1, 2, 3. Click on my first test 0, 1 and 2. So response body is nothing. Go to sampler result. So you will be getting the intermittent if there is anything which is running. Go to view result in table. Now let's try to understand what it is. Now there is a sample. Sample is nothing but number of requests 1, 2, 3, 4, so on. You can see that start time. Can you just expand that shift a little? Yeah. Okay. And that thread name is there from the column. Yeah. So you can see thread group 1, thread group 1, 2, 1, 3, and then 1, 5 and 1, 4. Why it is not in sequential manner? If you remember the multi-threading in Java or .NET or in any language, you don't have control over threads. The thread scheduler will decide, and whosoever get the semaphore or critical section or that lock, that thread will execute. So that's why you are seeing it's 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3, but not 1, 4. It's 1, 5, and then you are having a label also. And when you will be having a different request now, the name is thread group, but if you want to give some other name also, that name can come. And you can see the sample time. So this is the time which took for a successful request and response. You can see the status, you can see the byte of the information which travel. You can see something as a latency and the connect time. All these things are there. And scroll down. So you can see exactly 30 is the count. So likewise, you can do multiple things. Now do one thing. Go to thread group. Let's click on the thread group. Yeah. Right click there. Add. Let's add one more sampler as one HTTP request. Give some other site. Anything. Okay, you can remove that slash also. Okay, and rename it as Apache Apache logger or something. Just put it as Apache. Okay, come back, click on it anywhere, like click on my first test, click on my first test. Okay, now my first test is there. Let's rename that also. So you can rename from here as well, and you can go and just click my first test where it is written in the right hand side. No, yeah, rename it as Confluence. Okay, now we'll try to do something else this time. Go to thread group. Yeah, so here now let's say ramp up period as 2. Ramp up period as 2, where it is 1 second. Yeah, let's make it as 2. Let increase the thread count to 100. Okay, now we are having view result tree, view result in tab. Let's try to add any other sampler. Let any other listener right click on the thread group. So we have last 3 minutes. Let's see what we can do. Listener generate summary result. Let's try this. Generate summary result. Okay. Now run the test. Click on thread group. Click on thread group and click on start button. No need to save, or you can save also. Anything is fine. Now immediately click on result in table. And you can see the thread was moving and this thing come up, scroll down. Expand it little so that we can see the thread group name. Now you are seeing here 137, 144, 141, so on. So this is different. And then you can see there are some status which is failed, that XX also you are seeing, correct?
Yes.
So the status is in red. And for those status, you can see the start send byte is 0, latency is 0 and all. Scroll down. So now you can see there are many requests which are failing. The sample time for few requests you are seeing, for some like the sample number 122, it is 3305 millisecond. For other it is 48 millisecond. And for Confluence, which is a heavy, you can see only for Confluence it is failing. And then when it start failing, it's continuously fail for Confluence, and then for some of the things it's passed. So by what parameter it is failing and passing, we'll see. Come to generate summary. Yeah. Okay, we have not added anything here in the generate summary. Let's forget this. Go to the view result tree. Just wanted to see any failure. Okay, scroll down. Scroll down, down. See, you will see. Okay, click on that failed one. So you can see response as non-HTTP, some java.socket exception. So socket exception, connection reset exception, all this thing you will be getting. Scroll down further. Okay, click on one pass result from Confluence. Anyone? Yeah. Now you can see here when it is passed 200 response, OK is coming and whatever content you wanted to have. So this was very first test plan which we created and we wanted to follow like that. I believe and I hope all of us are well equipped with the JMeter, and all of you have already run this first um, test plan on your laptop. Just say me hi-fi if it is done. You may stop sharing. Okay. So isn't it fun working on JMeter? It's very simple on your fingertips, and it's so simple that anyone can do. No programming skill is needed. Nothing is needed. Yeah, only for bench shell if you want to do, we can have bench shell programming or some little scripting here and there. But only by using this tool you can do the load and performance testing. We have seen how we have created our first plan, how we have created the test plan, then the thread group, then we added some sampler, then we added listen, and we executed the test. So this is overall how we will be doing every day, but with different samplers, with different elements and all. So in 5 days, so already I have completed the time. I am extending this. In the 5 days, you will be at very good level in the JMeter, and in just 4 days, in the 5th day, we will be taking for a BlazeMeter, and it will be completely hands-on. So take out the time, be prepared, and all the sessions will be recorded as I am recording. And for other new team members also, when someone is watching, that time also they can pause and then practice it. That's what I want to say. Any doubt, any queries at this point from anyone?
No.
No, all cool, all good. We have not done anything extraordinary. It was just simple. But tomorrow's
You made
speed.
it simple.
Yeah, it's very simple. But tomorrow's speed will be fast, and because it was first day, and my only and only intention was everyone, each one from us can do it on our machine. That's why I went slow. But tomorrow we are going to cover many things. As you can go through the content, there is a huge list of content which we are planning to cover. That we'll be doing tomorrow. Thank you, everyone. Then I will see all of you tomorrow. And then if you want to forward this invite to someone else who are interested with the organization, feel free to do so.
Thank you, Sagar. Thank you for
Thank
your
you.
time.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Sir.
thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Yep.